Hi, my name is Kayla, and my grandma, who I called Nai Nai, taught me how to knit when I was 7 years old. It's really nice to share a hobby with someone, especially someone a couple generations removed from you. When I knit, I often think about my Nai Nai and all the things she knit me, even when I was a baby, about how much time and effort went into the clothes I outgrew so fast. I would always show her the projects I had, and she would always be so impressed and happy that I was knitting and crocheting. My Nai Nai died this past year, and when we were going through her basement, I found 2 large boxes of yarn. I'm so grateful that I have yarn from my Nai Nai that I'm able to work on with my projects. I've already given a little bit of it away because I live in a small Boston apartment. Today we're gonna go through the 2 boxes of yarn that my Nai Nai left me, and I'm gonna tell you some project ideas I have for it. Okay, yarn time. Welcome back to my yarn pile. I have some that are in multiple skeins, so those I'm saving for larger projects. I also have a bunch of scrap balls. Some of this yarn is also from my godmother, who was my Nai Nai's niece, and they both enjoyed knitting a lot. She's still alive, for clarity. I had to condense all of my yarn stock into these 2 boxes because, once again, no space in Boston apartment. Some have labels, which is good, but it's hard for me to tell what weight the yarn is, and I hate gauge swatching. I don't want to acquire gauge swatches when I play Yarn Chicken every day anyways. So, maybe I'll be a gauge swatcher in 2026. The thing closest to me is this ball. I like working with these multicolored yarns in the sense where I like to stripe it with something that is a solid color. I think working one piece in multicolored yarn is just not the aesthetic I'm going for. It's also feeling very acrylic. I've been talking to my friend recently about how we're becoming yarn snobs because we both recently switched from crocheting to knitting. I feel like you can just tell the quality of yarn much more in knitting. This is a ball of cotton yarn that I thrifted from a Goodwill sweater, and I pulled it apart, washed it, and recaked it. That is something I love to do when I want yarn, because buying a Goodwill sweater gives me like 4 times the amount of yarn for the same price of 1 skein. But I don't think I'll ever have to do that for the next year at least. Hopefully this amount of yarn lasts me forever. This is a wool in sport wool. I did use a little bit of this for a baby sweater I knit for my manager, and I'll put a picture of it here, but I also made a little strawberry hat. So these are the scraps left over from the original project, and then I have a couple skeins of the actual yarn. This had a label, which is really good because I was following a pattern. It was just a raglan baby sweater. It was my first knit sweater, and I'm so glad I started with a baby sweater because babies are small and I am impatient. Here is some of the yarn from my godmother. I have 2 silk mint skeins, and then there's one like confetti in there. I really like these colors. I'm just scared about knitting in lace weight, especially with only 2 skeins, because I don't know how far I can get, but I'm thinking like a t-shirt, because then I don't have to do the sleeves. This is a nice Christmassy green sparkle color. My Nai Nai was a fan of really creative yarns. I just don't think I'll use a lot of it, although I had this black sparkly yarn. It is kind of acrylic, so I didn't love the way it laid, but my friend had a goth themed birthday party, so I made an open back top with it, and I think that's the use case, like one-time wear tops. This is a ball of cotton. It's really soft. I just think the color is not something I'd necessarily see myself wearing. It's a little bright. This is a multicolor ball of yarn that my Nai Nai actually bought me when I first learned how to knit when I was 7. I'll put a photo of me using it when I was so small. I'm trying to go based on colors so that I can organize my life and see how much I have of each also. This is a really chunky yarn. I don't know what I will make out of this. I made a basket out of it before, like a little drawer insert that I can store my makeup in. I did want to make coasters or placemats for my kitchen table, but this is not enough. I have many balls of this really pretty periwinkle mohair. It says it's mohair. I don't know if I believe it. It's in Japanese. It's not soft at all. It's actually very chunky, but I was thinking I could make something like the sailor slippers. I just don't know if it will felt or not. It feels like it'll felt though, you know? Ball of acrylic. Skein of acrylic. Skein? I feel like I should know how to say it if I'm starting a fiber arts account, but you know, maybe I'll go with skein, like Paul Skenes, the baseball player. But I guess he's skeins, so I should go with skeins. This is a small scrap ball of acrylic blue yarn. This is one of my roommate's favorite colors, like this specific shade of blue, maybe a little lighter. Everything in our kitchen that is hers is like somewhere around this shade of blue. I'm going to knit her a hat and then have like a little white embroidery around the brim. I have a full ball of this somewhere. I'm really excited because she will wear what I make her. When she goes to work, she wears the headbands I made her, and when someone compliments her on them, she'll say, yeah, my roommate made it for me. This is a navy blue cotton yarn. I love knitting wearables in cotton. I think I'm a little allergic to wool, and then there's always the concern of like washing it and stuff. Cotton is just so easy. Speaking of wool, this is a nice shade of wool. It feels really soft to the touch, but I think if I put it on my neck I would be really upset, so I don't know what to make. Maybe a headband. We are in the depths of Boston winter, which has been really unfortunate for me as someone from California. So I think winter season is coming to the end. Like, I can't knit a sweater reasonably and be able to wear it within the season still, but headbands I can knit forever. This is cotton yarn from another Goodwill sweater I thrifted. It's such a weird yarn because it's kind of like thread put together. It's not ply. They're like interwoven strands of thread. I have a lot of these small balls of yarn. I just don't know what I can reasonably do with this amount. I've seen a lot of people making scrap yarn things. I just think that the colors I have are not really cohesive enough to do something like that. Another thing I love to make is amigurumi. I don't usually use polyfill. I usually just stuff my creatures with yarn scraps and then they end up being super heavy, but it's not like anyone is picking them up. They're there for decor. But I do think I'm gonna make keychains for my friends for graduation. So maybe I will use this polyfill and make them lighter so they're not weighed down. This is a bonnet my nana knit. I think it fits me. It looks really cute, really baby. This is what I'm talking about when my nana likes like a furry yarn. Like, this is a grandma's scarf yarn. I just don't know what I could make with this except a skinny scarf. I'm not trying to say my nana didn't have taste, but it's called fancy fur. This looks like cotton candy. Like, it looks edible. I like how the yarn is different widths at different places. I think that's kind of fun, but I need to be more creative and the creative juices are not flowing. I'm really glad I'm a patient person, or at least that I like going through strands of yarn, because this is a mess. This yarn is a half knit sweater. Here's the sweater. I think I'm gonna have to pull the sweater apart. It's not very soft. But what else could you make out of this much acrylic except a sweater? There's a few balls of this darker royal purple color that I really like. It's pretty soft for acrylic. I just don't think this is something I would wear though. I have a lavender cardigan from Ann Taylor that I loved when I saw it because I love the color purple to look at, but I don't love the color purple to wear. I think I cleared out the purples. We're going through the rainbow pretty fast. I'm gonna go to pinks because there's a lot of them. These are my pink to red to orange fanciful furs. So many. I like that they all kind of match. Like, I think I could do something with this. I just don't know what. So if you have any suggestions, let me know. I have a lot of shades of red. This was really helpful when I was knitting the baby gift for my manager because I was making a strawberry hat to go with it and I wanted a red that complemented the shade of green I used, but also you can't wear red all the time. Maybe because it was like lucky in Chinese culture, that's why she got so much red. This is another one of those like cotton candy type yarns. I like the shade, and it's a large skein, so I feel like I could do some damage with it. Here's an entire ziplock of red. Getting started with some pinks. Red Heart Saver was probably the first brand of yarn I ever like even consciously knew, and because of my grandma. These are the other silk skeins my godmother gave me. They're so pretty. Like, this fuchsia color is so gorgeous, and I really appreciate that she knew I was allergic to wools. I have a couple skeins of this pink color. I enjoy it. It's just acrylic, you know? Not to be a snob again, but we've already talked about this. The reds and pinks are tiring me out, and I have a little bit more of them to go. I think I'm going to take a break and switch to multicolors, because if you've learned anything about my Nai and her fancy fur, she also loves a multicolor yarn. These, one time I made a balaclava, but then I didn't have enough. So the crown of my head was bald. So I decided to use this white cotton yarn and just fill in a bald spot on the top of my head. And then I did like a nice outline. And from the front, I thought it looked really good, except my mom told me it was ugly, which is fair. It was ugly. I think she was justified. I was just upset because I spent so much time on it. But then I never wore it, so I took it apart. That's one thing I love about knitting and crocheting, is you can always take something apart if you make it and you realize you don't like it. The time you spent on it is not wasted because you enjoyed making it. It's just so much better when I like to wear it though. This is giving Salem, Massachusetts, Wicked Witch of the West. I like it for the holidays, but Halloween has passed, so I don't know now. I really like this one. There's a nice hint of blue. It's really soft. I just don't think there's enough for a sweater. I'm thinking maybe like a raglan t-shirt, but I don't think there's even enough for that, so I don't know. This is rainbow. I need an elementary school teacher friend to like make a calendar. I don't know what I would even do with this. I think this is really pretty. It's in Japanese, so I don't know what material it is, but it is soft and it's really pretty. Merry Christmas. I know Christmas is over, but this is Christmas. We don't have a tree because we're college kids. Why would we get a tree? Also, I live on the 6th floor, so no way am I hauling a tree. But maybe I'll make like ornaments for a friend that does get a tree. This is one of my favorite yarns. I crocheted a balaclava out of this, my first balaclava. First and actually my second balaclava, if you'll recall my other balaclava story. I think it's acrylic, but it's super soft, and I love the color. It's just so pretty. Even though it is multicolored, to me it's like a cohesive color because it's like flecks of other colors. This is also super pretty. I think it's the same as the last yarn where there's just like little flecks of color in it, and I really like the way the colors go together. I just don't know what I'd use it for, and it's not that soft. I think I'm ready to go back to reds. I have this tangled mess in front of me. I tried to make this bandana out of some wool yarn scraps my godmother gave me. I think it was really cute. I actually tried to wear this as a shirt once, but my mom said I could not decently go out of the house, so it's also very heavy because it's wool. It's not a bandana top. It's not supposed to be. It's like a quilt. It's kind of itchy yarn though. Like, it's not a wearable wool. So I've been taking it apart, and I think I'm gonna try to make the sailor slippers out of it. I'm gonna have to do a swatch to see if it felts, but then I don't even have a lot of it. So what if it doesn't felt and then I've already used it all? Because it's granny square, I already cut it in a bunch of places, so it's not like a cohesive, it will never be a ball again. I'll have to like felt it into a ball. This is a large bag of mohair. It's like lace weight and neon salmon. I'm thinking I could make a shirt, but I would never wear this shirt. Here are some oranges. I think these are the only orange, yellow, salmon colors out there. I had a lot of unraveling to do, but I'm gonna breeze through my neutrals now. Gray, super soft. Something's gonna be made out of this. There's another one kind of similar to it, but I can't tell if it's the same yarn because it doesn't have a label. But I'm glad one of them has a label at least. I have some brown. It's pretty soft for acrylic, I think. I have a lot of black and also a lot of white balls. Some are cotton, some are like this wool blend that's really soft. I think I'm gonna make my first sweater out of that. This is a half done sweater. It's like, I don't even know what it's made out of. It's soft, but it's like almost teddy bear material, so I'm not sure what I could do out of it. I have some of these confetti type whites, and I have a lot of these glitter ones. I think I'm gonna make like a going out top with these, like the cowl neck knit top, because I think it'll drape really well. I also have some thicker whites that I think I can make socks out of, or hand warmers, maybe a mitten. That's about it. Let me know if you have any thoughts on what I should make. I'm gonna put this all back in the box now.